Hey everyone, hope that you are having a fantastic Tuesday. This is Gabe Smith, CCXP. I'm content manager with CXPA. Excited to take just a few minutes to spend with you today, catch up with one of my colleagues, catch you up on some cool developments that we have happening at CXPA. This little impromptu live stream session is something new that we are trying here at CXPA to help spread the word about some of the things that we're doing and to give you a chance to see how you can be involved. So we hope that you find this useful. Please use the comments section to let us know what you want to hear us talk about in the future, as well as your reactions to what you're going to be hearing from us today. So if you are tuning in right now, if you're listening live and you want to let us know where you are, that is great. I know this probably wasn't on your schedule today, but we hope that's okay with you. So coming to you live, want to give you an update on CXPA's project to document CX in higher education. So joining me today for that update is our CEO, Mr. Greg Melia, CAE. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Gabe. It's so fantastic to see you, catch up in this space, and just to have this opportunity to use LinkedIn as another way that we connect with our members and share with them what's going on. And before we do that, I want to give kudos to you and your team. Over the last year, CXPA has grown with 10,000 more followers all around the world. Thanks, Bimbola, tuning in from Lagos, Nigeria. We've got a lot of energy going on in Nigeria, and we're going to have some new announcements coming soon for the African market, and in particular in Nigeria. But Gabe, the work that you and your team are doing with Live with CXPA, the conversations that you're bringing forward are fantastic. But, this is something new that we're trying, which is to say, okay, let's use a quick video update just to share what's going on, let people know what CXPA is doing, and see if there are ways for you to be involved. Hi, Lorraine. Good to see you.
Hey, Lorraine. Yeah, we're glad it popped up on your LinkedIn too. So awesome. Glad you agree that the sessions are awesome. We're having a lot of fun too. Excellent. Excellent. So Greg, we did not too long ago, just a few weeks back, we did one of these LinkedIn Live programs. It was all about our goals around CX and higher ed. For those who weren't able to attend that session, could you just catch them up on what is the purpose of this project? What is the scope of this work? Why are we doing all this?
Yeah, so we at CXPA, when we're talking about our board, we're talking about our CCXPs, we're talking about our recognized training providers, we're talking about the leadership all across the CXPA community. We all are united by that common belief and passion that CX is a discipline. It's a management technique and strategy that should be learned and, more importantly, should be taught. It's something that we do to make a difference in the lives of our customers, but we want to make sure that it is turning into a full and recognized profession. Certainly, CXPA, as we celebrate our 10th anniversary, is aiding in that. The CCXP credential, professional certification, that's a hallmark of a profession, but another hallmark of a profession is having a curriculum that is taught at universities and colleges. And so we believe that it's important to make sure that CXPA and CX is being taught about and making sure that that's happening as a solid, independent research base connected to what employers are looking for. We want education and practice to go hand in hand. So that's what this project is all about.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Greg. And hello, I see we got some other folks joining us. Marlon's joining us from Trinidad and Tobago. We've got Italy, and Bashir is joining us from Saudi Arabia. So welcome to all of you. And Greg, thank you for outlining some of those goals, and those are really big goals. So how do you see CXPA tackling those things?
Yeah, it's a really big goal. And so we do the same thing CXPA does every time we face a big goal. And that's to get members together and get members involved. The hallmark of what we do is being a consensus-based organization, tapping into the power of the community and using that to the benefit of all of us. So in the fall, we formed a committee, and that committee helped us really to come together and to say, well, what does it mean for customer experience to be taught in higher education? And what we realized is that there's this huge diversity of ways that customer experience can be on campus. In some cases, that's going to be a conference. In other cases, it's going to be a continuing education course. But increasingly, we're hearing that people are teaching customer experience at the undergraduate level, in business schools, and even some rumors of some postgraduate programs in customer experience. So we want to make sure that we have a way to document that. So with the committee's guidance, we said, okay, what if we could enlist our LinkedIn followers, our CXPA membership, and the CX community to contribute their knowledge of what's happening in their area, and to bring that together so that we can understand what's going on. So that's a big part of it. But I want to return for a moment about why this is really important. And Gabe, I'm going to take you back to my college days. I think maybe your college days, they might have already been putting this into history at the time. But when I went through organizational psychology courses at the College of William & Mary, one of the things that they talked about was Taylor and time motion studies. And this is back in the late 1800s when they're talking about factory workers. And they said, we can get better results for our company if we could make sure there's no wasted motion when people are on the assembly line. And that was what was being taught in colleges and universities. Now we look back on that and we realize, wait a minute, there are better ways to get results that keep employees happy, keep customers happy, and drive outcomes for folks than just making people slave away on an assembly line. And so that's now a management fad that has passed. It's a management technique that is taught as history, not taught as something to move forward. And that's what's important. We need to make sure that customer experience doesn't fall to the wayside the same way that time management studies did. We need to make sure that we're getting customer experience taught as a viable and sustainable pathway to future growth.
Yeah, that's really fascinating, and I don't remember hearing about that in school, Greg. So that may have been a little bit before me, but we'll give you a pass there.
Well,
so
I think you went to the University of Northern Iowa, so
I did.
Maybe it just didn't make the curriculum.
It didn't make it in, but I know you mentioned that the first step of this work is bringing together volunteers and having some discovery. So tell me a little bit more about that discovery and what's underway right now.
Yeah, so the committee has really helped us hone in and say, okay, how do we distill this down into the fundamental questions that we need to ask? And that is questions like, is CX taught in accredited universities or in universities that are not yet accredited? If it's being taught, is it being taught at the undergraduate or the graduate level? We really want to understand what's going on there, because the first step in any change management, in any major project, is to learn what you don't know. And so, we set out and we said, okay, what are those key questions that we need to have answered? And then the next question was to say, how can we unleash the power of the CXPA community and our social media followers to make this happen? And so we took that question and we put it in front of one of our valued partners and said, can you help us solve this? Because that's one of the great things about the CX field. It's matching CX professionals together with technology and service providers that can help you drive results.
Yeah. So tell me a little more, because you said, we brought this to one of our partners. So give me some insight into the execution of this project, if you would.
Yeah, and so this is great. When we outlined this project to the good partners at Confirm It, they said to us, we want to be involved. This is important. This is important work for our customers. It's important work for the practice of CX. It's important work that needs to come forward. And, who better than a partner to help us collect sort of feedback across the spectrum from a wide variety of people than Confirm It. We wanted to collect this information across the globe, and we wanted to make sure that the information that we were collecting was consistent and that it was accurate. And so that's kind of a big ask, when we go ahead and say, we want to make sure that it's a good experience for the survey taker, but we also want to make sure that the data is clean on the back end. So that was the challenge that we put on the table.
Yeah, and it does sound like a lot. Is there any specific aspect of this? Why do you think that we found such value with Confirm It? Were there specific challenges that needed to be addressed that only somebody of Confirm It's caliber could do?
Yeah, so our committee was great. The committee helped us come up with the questions to bring forward. And one of the things that our committee said was we want to make sure that we are collecting university names in a consistent way. And so that's a big challenge because if people are writing in, I might write the College of William and Mary, or I might write the College of W&M, or some people might even call it William and Mary College, and so those are all different fat-fingered responses, and that creates a database on the back end that's very difficult to bring back together and collect that information. So we came up with an idea, and the idea was to say, well, what if we got a database that included all of the colleges and universities throughout the world? Would that make it easier and a better experience, both for the people who are responding to the survey and for the data set on the back end? So we went out and we found that. And, easy enough, you call them up and you say, could you help us connect this pick list so that people can start to type in an answer and be able to choose their college and university? Sure. And then we get to the next question. How long is the pick list? So, anyone want to guess in the chat how many different higher education universities there are out around the world?
Wow, I'm very curious to see what responses that we get here. We're talking global colleges and universities. Just how many are there?
Yep. Okay. So, I see people are hesitant to ask, and I understand that because we're just coming off of a Super Bowl week here where nobody would have predicted the outcomes. It's difficult to put numbers on the table. But the number of colleges and universities worldwide, over 19,000 different things. Halima is coming closer there with 13,000. Mike's, we're sort of reflecting the number of students we've got going on. 3 million. Larry, thank you. He's talking about students too. We probably, if we were to include undergraduates, not undergraduate, but high schools, we'd start getting to these really high numbers. But in any case, we wanted to have this drop down, and so Confirm It was able to connect that for us. So that was a big part. And we think a little bit about how that works and how that comes through. Now you can go on and you can take a look at how that works.
Yeah, Greg, that's really great. I think we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this survey. Let's go ahead and share with people right now how they can find the tool, and then also how they can respond and contribute to this work. So take a look, and when you visit www.cxpa.org or you click the link in the comments section, you'll notice at the top of the page here, you'll see an alert that says, are you passionate about CX and higher education programs? Click here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then you'll see we're on this page called Documenting CX in Higher Ed. So here you'll be able to learn a little bit about the project, as well as our platform sponsor, Confirm It, and our committee members. But for now, we're going to click Complete the Survey. And here you'll see some introductory text. And when you click on the drop-down arrow, it's going to take a little bit of time because there are actually more than 19,000 registered institutions in this pick list. So from there, you can start typing, and we recommend that you start typing the proper name of the college or university rather than the word university or the word college, just because it may generate a lot of results. So I'm going to start typing in the name of my alma mater. And again, it may take just a second because of the number of results. So choose my college. And then I'm going to click Next. Here's where I can enter the accreditation status of my college or university if I know it. And then this is where I put in the name of the CX offering. So here you could copy or paste directly from a course catalog. So perhaps there is a course number, or you can just type in the name of the course. Here's where you can type in the URL of the course. You can indicate what the level of CX related offering is. So is it a continuing education or a certificate program? Is it for a 4-year college? Is it for a master's degree? So here's where you can indicate that. So this is part of undergraduate coursework, the one I chose. And then this is an academic course. It's a semester-long course. Alternately, if you know of an entire CX degree program or a graduate program or even postgraduate, this is where you can kind of put that in here. So we want to know all about what's being offered in colleges and universities. And then finally, this is where you can let us know if you've been a student in one of these programs, if you've been a guest speaker or a faculty member, or if you've not participated, you just know of this. As well as you could put anything else you'd like to know and submit your email address. And there you have it. Greg, easy enough I can do it. So
that's awesome. That's going to be our new theme. Easy enough for Gabe to do.
So tell me a little bit about how has participation been going so far? What have we been seeing?
Yeah, it's fantastic. We've been in soft launch for a month, and the feedback has been fantastic. We haven't had a single technical glitch or complaint. And what we've already been able to do is to see some responses that are really making us think and making us learn some things along the way.
What have you found? What are we learning so far?
Yeah, well, first of all, what's really cool is that we've had responses from across the globe. Universities not only from here in the U.S., where about half of CXPA's members are located, but also from Canada, Brazil, Belgium, Singapore, and South Africa. We've learned about programs that range from academic conferences to master's degrees. And we've heard from students and faculty and advisory board members. So it's not just students, along the way. And so that's off to a great start, and the data collection tool is working brilliantly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, what's the catch? What do we need right now from folks?
Yeah, what we need is to hear from more people. We've got a great cross-section right now among our early respondents, and we're learning a lot from that, but we really want to be as comprehensive and complete as possible to see the full global picture. And that's where we really need help.
Yeah. So just looking at the comments, we've got Greece, we've got Chile, we have Italy, Trinidad and Tobago, Saudi Arabia. So are these all folks who should be responding to this survey?
Yeah. So the great thing about this is unlike a push survey, we set this up on CXPA's website, cxpa.org/higher-ed, so that anyone can participate. And when we say that, anyone really can participate. Here are some thoughts. If you're a student at a university, whether you're taking a CX course or not, or if you're a guest lecturer or a faculty member who has participated in CX in a university as a CX guest lecturer or a faculty member, please come and tell us about that. That will be extremely helpful. And then the second is that if those previous roles don't describe you, you can still play a role and benefit yourself as well, which is, the colleges and universities in your local area, in your country or your city. Go ahead and Google the name of that institution and customer experience to see if they offer a course. What's really cool about that is maybe you'll find a place that you can be a guest lecturer. Maybe you'll find a place that you can recruit an intern. You'll learn something about your area and helping advance the field at the same time.
Yeah, Greg, it's interesting. It's been a minute since I've been an undergraduate student. And so when I responded to this survey, I really did, Google University of Northern Iowa customer experience to see what I could find at my alma mater. So, even just for those of you who may have been out of school for a bit like me, take a look at what your alma mater is doing and see if there's something to contribute there. I think that's a great place to start.
Exact same for me. I found that William & Mary did a customer experience course in undergraduate. I found another college or university that actually does a customer experience semester abroad experience. Wow. And their semester abroad experience is with none other than visiting Disney World. So I'm like, how cool is that? Why didn't I get that as a course choice when I was in school?
Absolutely. I hear you on that. Oh, it sounds like the project's off to a great start. If you're listening right now, we need your help. Make sure to visit, as Greg said, cxpa.org/higher ed to take part. So Greg, in addition to the higher education work, what else is CXPA working on right now that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I could not be more excited about what's going on at CXPA right now. Our board of directors has really said that we should be the most global and inclusive organization as we can be. And so we're aligning all of our pieces to make that happen. Maybe it's a side effect of January and New Year's resolutions, but man, the CCXP program is off the hook right now.
Yeah.
We've got people taking the exam online. And Gabe, you help coordinate our Recognized Training Providers program. Can you talk a little bit about that and what we're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. So far in 2021, we have 4 new recognized training providers from around the world, representing Lebanon, France, Canada. I'm missing the 4th one, but I've been so proud and excited about the momentum that these folks are generating, and really the demand for quality CX training around the world. We're only seeing that increasing. And so it makes total sense to me that these folks would want to make sure that they're getting quality training that's aligned with the CXPA competency framework.
Yeah, and I think that ties directly to a flywheel, because more and more we're seeing job advertisements that are saying CCXP preferred. Yeah. And so people are wanting to position themselves for success in their current career step and positioning for their next one. So whether it's the new RTPs or looking at the folks from India and Israel and Germany and the UK, Canada's the one you missed, America. We've got this fantastic set of people who are there to help you and guide you along the way. So, CCXP is a big thing that I'm excited about, but I'm also really excited about our regional partnerships that we have going on. These are folks that work with us to bring the CXPA message, the CX framework, to local markets. And so, last year we had a lot of success with our global partner in advancing CX in the awards arena, Awards International. Proud to have them back with us again for 2021 with Taragni Consulting in India, who's bringing forward Indian voices together with CX global voices to be able to advance CX in the Indian context. And that's so important because the CXPA India network is one of our fastest growing networks, which is great. And then we have a brand new partnership that we just announced this week with Hased Consulting in Asia Pacific, to be able to make sure that we're serving the folks that are interested in CX in Asia Pacific. Got a big one coming up next week too, but I'm not going to announce that yet.
Fantastic. And I know we've got the Emerging Leaders Award that is going to come up that we're going to hear more about on Friday as well, right?
That's right. When we're talking about people in CX, one of the most important things that we can do for the future of CX and for the success of CX in their companies is to help identify those young folks, those young stars that are new to the CX discipline that are making a difference and are driving change in their organization. These are the folks that bring new energy and new spark to their CX programs. And we're going to be announcing on Friday all right, here on LinkedIn Live, hosted by our good friend Derek Iverson. Gabe, we're going to give you a day off.
Yes.
Happy early anniversary to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But Derek will be leading a reveal show for our emerging leaders, so we're tremendously excited about that. And it's just kind of amazing. What we're seeing is this groundswell of people coming together in their local networks. An opportunity, you'd think that the pandemic would be keeping local networks down because local networks were so much about connecting together in person. But what we've seen through the pandemic is that Zoom has become more important than ever before. And it's an opportunity for people to have that exchange with one another. And so now there are about 60 different local networks around the world. You can visit CXPA.org, and right at the top of the page, there's a new button. Thank you, Derek, for putting the new button on there that says Find a Network. And so you can find your people to connect with. And that can mean people in your area, or it could mean people in a market that you're interested in learning more about. So if you're excited to hear that we're in India, you can connect and be in there. And Emmanuel, thanks for calling in from Nigeria. Scroll up and meet your colleague. We've got a lot going on in Africa, and we're looking forward to making some new announcements on that very soon as well. But Gabe, from a content perspective, what are you most proud of? What do you feel is on the agenda for 2021?
Yeah, great question, Greg. I mean, I love these live with LinkedIn hangouts that we're having, and I love it because, we get to see the breadth of global engagement with CX, whether you're new to the field, whether you're a tenured CX professional. It's a place where we can all come together and have really important and impactful conversations about this discipline that we all love so much. I'm also excited that, like you said, it's the 10th anniversary year of CXPA. So we need to do this anniversary justice through a great content program that celebrates both where we've been over the last decade, because I think it is absolutely worthy of celebrating, and also where we're going in the next decade. So to those in the audience, I'd say be on the lookout for more. You're going to have a pretty robust calendar of virtual events this year that you can take part in.
Yep, we absolutely love that. And one other thing that I just share to folks, every organization evolves with time, and CXPA is doing that as well. Many of you, have known for a long time that you can access CXPA as an individual member. It's only $225 per year, which is sort of a fantastic investment in yourself and your development as a CX professional. But we've recognized that great CX requires a great CX team. And so we've rolled out a new membership product for team membership, so that you can go ahead and bring together not just yourself, but the people that you work with, the folks that you want to make sure are helping you in your role as a catalyst to understand and to be able to get into the CXPA open forum and ask questions. Has anybody ever done this? I was having a great conversation yesterday with a member who was just saying, I'd love to speak with other people who work in my industry on how they develop customized communications to the end customer. And I'm like, that's a perfect example of how we can help you by connecting you on the open forum. So those of you who are members, take a look. I bet that message will be posted before the morning, and you can weigh in and help them as well.
Yeah, Greg, I agree. I just was having a conversation this morning with someone who's saying, I'm a CX veteran, but I've got a team who came up, to their positions from within the organization, and they're new to CX. And so I'd love to learn about some best practices for, how do you get someone really up to speed on your team? And so, again, great topic for the discussion forum.
Yep, totally cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up with 2 action items, for everyone. First, we would love for you to help us be successful in documenting higher education, CX and higher education. Visit cxpa.org/highered or navigate via that top message that Gabe showed us in his walkthrough, and let us know about the CX offerings by colleges and universities in your area. We're looking for anything that uses the word customer experience in their course title or in their degree program, and to be able to bring that together, that'll be a tremendous help to the field. When we collect that information, the next step will be to say, okay, how do we build those bridges? Where do we go with that? Yep. The second thing is if you haven't done so, go ahead and visit cxpa.org, create an account there, find a network that you can participate in. That's a fantastic way for you to stay connected on a daily basis. There's a lot of career resources there, a lot of things to help drive your success. Really complements the conversations that we're having here, and we'd love to have you be part of our communications and part of our community.
Yep. Greg, absolutely. We know there's a ton of momentum at CXPA right now. We want the folks who are watching us on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube right now to be a part of that. So we hope we see you there, and we hope you have a great week. Hope to see you on Friday for the Emerging Leaders Award. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.